Today I want to talk about coding with ChatGPT, but a little bit about structure. I'm going to show you how to set up a file when you're getting ready to program. And one of the things you want to learn is how to structure and lay out when you're getting ready to program. ChatGPT shows you exactly how to set it up. Tonight we're going to build a basic calculator app, but we're going to do the project directory structure. I think it's important to you to learn how to do this. I'm going to show you how I set it up in Visual Studio. You can do it in Visual Studio, or you can just do it regularly in your, if you didn't have Visual Studio, you could just create folders and create files, and that is the same thing. And you'll see at the end of this, when we go through it, and you'll see that you could just go in there and it'll show you that it's in the folder and everything. So let's just get started. So the things I'm going to need for this calculator are an index.html, and that's common. That's standard. You're going to need an HTML. The folder that we're going to create is called My Calculator App. That's where all of our guts for our program is going to lie. And in there it's going to be some folders, okay? So this is it. So I asked it. I even asked the question, are these script styles and image folders? So if you don't know something, you can ask ChatGPT and it says, yes, in this project directory structure, scripts, styles, and images are folders. I said, okay, sounds good. We're cooking with gas. I know what I need to do to build my app. And then it even tells you, it even breaks it down further for you, telling you what you need to do. So let's go ahead and put this together right quick. We'll build our structure, and then in the next video we'll actually code our structure. So I'm in Visual Studio, and I'm going to go ahead and say open. In my version, you have to say open and then a new file. In Visual Studio Code, in the later versions, you could just say new folder. So we're going to do a new folder, and we're going to call it what are we going to call it? We're going to call it our computer, our little app, right? So let's do that. Let's start that off right now. We're just going to call it a calculator app. I'm not going to make it anything fancy. Just say my calculator. Okay. All right. So that's the folder that we're making. We're making the first folder where everything is going to be. Okay. So my calculator, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to open it. So now on the panel we have our folder that we're going to put everything in, and that's where it gets juicy. So what's the first thing we're going to need? Well, we're going to need a HTML index, correct? So let's go ahead and make that, and it's easy to that. We're in the calculator, so you have files and you have folders. We're going to make a file, and we're going to call this index standard. And the reason why I'm starting off with this little tutorial tonight, because if you learn how to do this all the time, and you understand how to make these folders and files, you will be way ahead of the game, okay? Way ahead of the game. Learning how stuff is designed, and then you know what you need, it just saves you a lot of time. So the next thing we need is a scripts folder. So let's go ahead and click folder, and we're going to say scripts. Okay, now we have a scripts folder. Now understand, in that scripts folder, looking at our structure, right, we need a JavaScript file. And so now I'm going to click on my scripts, and I'm going to make a file, right? And in that file is going to be calculator.js, and JS is for JavaScript. Did I spell it right? Because I'm typing fast. See, okay. Don't be too fast. And I do this in layman's terms, and this is boring for some folks, but this is a good way to learn how to code. You're starting to learn the structure. You're starting at the beginning. Now we need a folder for CSS. What is CSS? CSS is how you style the app, how you want the calculator to look. You want it to be blue, you want it to be red, you want it to have white letters, white numbers, black numbers. This is where you do it. You have a styles folder, and you're going to use CSS to go ahead and style that. So we made a folder, and now we want to go in that folder and we want to put a file in there, And anytime you're styling something, you're going to use .css. So for us, we're going to be styling our calculator. Boy, I want to spell that wrong, boy. calculator. That's because I'm typing fast. So now we've put a file in there, okay? So now we have this, the file inside of the styles folder. Next thing we're going to need is an image folder. Why do we need an image folder? Well, you might have certain color buttons, certain types of buttons and pictures and things that you'll have in there. So you need an image folder to hold your images of your buttons or whatever you choose. And then it says, for the sake of this, it wants me to go ahead and put a button.png. Well, you know, you can get PNGs from the web. Those are just pictures. And you can have that in. Okay, boom. So now we have our structure that it requested, that it showed us how to do. Here's the structure here. And now we created it in Visual Studio. Now, just for closing, so you'll see how it looks, I'm going to go in my Mac. And if you didn't have Visual Studio, you could easily make these folders. Just make them in a regular Windows or regular Mac. So I'm going to go to my Mac. And what's the name of it? My calculator, right? That's the name of it. And look, here we go. So here is that whole my calculator was the folder, right? I'll go back, my calculator. And then we made a scripts folder, right? We made a styles folder. And I think my image folder needs to be up outside of styles. This doesn't be in there. So I made a little boo-boo. So we would have to, let's see, I'll go ahead and cut this. I don't want to copy it. And I want to go back. And I'm just going to, and you can do this. This is just regular house call. You just, just put it there. You just paste it there. I just paste my folder there. So those are the three folders that we need. Scripts, styles, and images. Now I'm going to go back in styles, and I'm going to just delete this because we don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this there. And so we're going to just move that to trash. All right, so now we have built our structure just as it has instructed us to. And this is the beginning. Now, in the second half, we'll go ahead and code each one of these script folders. We'll go and we'll put code in here to build our calculator. I hope this helps. I'll put some descriptions. I'll put some links in there if you want to watch some videos on downloading Visual Studio Code. And I'll also put this part of the tutorial, the text in there as well. Have a good one. Bye-bye.